What's up, folks? This is Kenny with Just the Right Angle, doing a broadcast on several elections that are going on today. The polls closed at 7:30. Post this. You can follow me at Just the Right Angle, where I do broadcasts about this. I've talked about these elections several times now, and I've urged people to vote against any of these tax increases, which most of them are. They're what's known as special election tax increases. They are scheduled in a deliberate way to minimize voter turnout. Of course, if you have any updates on any of these elections, please let folks know in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to Rumble and set up a Rumble account, it is the best way to do broadcast regarding these type of issues. There's 13 of these elections, so I'm going to be bouncing around a lot trying to figure out any update on any of them. I am rebroadcasting this on Facebook, Twitter X. I think it's called X, but I call it Twitter X just because it's been Twitter for so long. Gab, Truth Social, and MeWe, which was supposed to be an alternative to Facebook, but hasn't really panned out that way. Need to X out there. Unfortunately, nothing has really been able to replace Facebook in terms of being able to inform people what's going on a local level. But that's how things go. We work with what we can. I'm actually, if I get this to do that, I'm also sharing this on Telegram, which is also supposed to be an alternative to Facebook or Twitter. Some reason they can't really take off. This is one reason why I don't want so much domination of technology in terms of being able to communicate with people. There have been fights against these tax increases. Here's an example of one. Jason Rapert urging people 2 hours ago to vote against the tax increase in Conway. They are having one there. I don't know if there's any like election watch parties or anything like that. Let me click his page to see if he has any updates regarding this. There's a picture of a line of people voting against or regarding the tax increase in Conway. And usually when the higher the turnout, the more these tax increases are defeated. That's just a general rule, which is why they are scheduled at a time when most people are not around or not thinking about voting. That is why that's done. This is one group that's fighting against a tax increase in Lee County. I'm going to see William McLean. He has been the leader in fighting against that tax increase there. Don't see any actual results yet. I'll go to some county websites. This is a guy in Sherwood waving a sign urging people to vote no.
To get to vote. Polls close at 7:30. Come on out, vote. If you see me, honk your horn. Okay, everybody, you got 1 hour left to get to vote. Polls close at 7:30. Come on out, vote. If you see me, honk your horn.
That's Sherwood Tax Truth. There's someone else also out there standing out there. Yeah, these are like full-fledged campaigns, and with good reason. These are millions of dollars that are being transferred from we the people to government, and these deceptive tax increases. These are designed, again, to minimize voter turnout that are oftentimes very confusing. Here's the Facebook group for Sherwood Tax Truth. Let me go to them, see if there's any update. I had to wait a while because usually it takes a while to count these things. I know that in some places they are actually using paper ballots, so that can make a difference as opposed to using the voting machines. I know that's been an issue in across the nation and particularly in Arkansas. And if you see me leaning down, I'm just posting on the Telegram the link to this video. So this Okay, this is a guy here, Mike. I don't know who he is. Here, I'll play his message.
That's Saturday. I will be right here at City Hall Park from 9 until 11 to answer your questions about the Sherwood Tax Initiative, the bond initiative. This is a sales tax that we're voting on for Monday and Tuesday that will either reduce our sales tax next year or keep it the same. So you can put more money in your pocket by voting no. Come join me with a cup of coffee from 1677 Coffee. Fantastic cup of coffee, and let's have a great conversation.
So anyway, that's the kind of stuff that's been going on. Here, I'll show you the list of tax increases. Although this is not a complete list, this is close. Calhoun County, 1% sales tax. Marion County, half-cent sales tax, 0.5% sales tax. Bella Vista, a 1% sales tax. Conway, a 0.75% sales tax. Greenland, this is some kind of annex into city limits. And Ozark, this is some kind of entertainment district. Sherwood, also 0.75% sales tax. Texarkana, bond issue, which would raise property rates by 5 mils. That's for, the city of Texarkana. Don't forget, remember, cities, counties, and school districts all have millage elections. Each of them, you're having to pay taxes on property for all of that. And these are school districts of special elections. Arkadelphia School District. This is a increase of 3 mils. Cleveland County School District, an increase of 6 mils. Lee County School District, 15.7 mils. And you can see the multi-million-dollar bond issues. Nettleton School District, increase of 4.8 mils. Pocahontas, increase of 2.95 mils. Star City, increase of 5 mils. There was one election that was canceled. I don't remember if this one has the one in, I think it was Bradley County. But there is a tax increase going on, I believe, in there, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe that was for a jail tax increase. And there may be more. Yeah, so this is a little bit of details about this. If the jail tax doesn't pass, the county is going to have to look at readjusting the sales tax. Hospitals getting 1.4 million and all that. So yes, the Bradley County Courthouse tax increase is also going on. The county tax would rise to 3.62% and be the highest in Arkansas. Proposed tax rates by 1.625%. So there's a tax increase going on there as well. And like I said, there could be half a dozen other tax increases I simply don't know about. Well, I've done my best to try to keep up with all of them. But they just keep cropping up. So I'll be, like I said, bouncing around on Twitter and Facebook trying to look for results. Don't see any on Twitter X yet. So here's kind of a scale of what this is. Sherwood Tax Truth as of November 14th. This was a few days ago. Only 738 people voted so far. There are thousands of registered voters in that area. And this Mike guy appears to be the guy leading the effort against the Sherwood tax. But yeah, 738 votes. It was like Mike Willingham is the guy who organized this. And then there's some kind of the comments that the mayor initiated communications of private parties who have no role in city operations. These contacts occurred during the same period that the questions are being raised about the $93 million bond proposal. So there may be some FOIAs being done regarding the Sherwood tax increase. And here is a comment regarding Sherwood. Sherwood official talk of the town newsletter isn't just news anymore. It's political messaging on the taxpayer's dime. Under from the mayor's desk, it promotes the reimagined Sherwood bond is important, needed, and an opportunity. That's not public information. That's political administrating with taxpayer dollars. It's a line responsible leaders don't cross. Taxpayer-funded communication should inform voters, not persuade them. It's like there's some, I don't know, spelling on that. But irregardless, it looks like there's been some misbehavior by government officials regarding that tax increase in Sherwood. Now, this has become the light because recently Colonel Conrad Reynolds was forced to go to court originally over electioneering, and then I think they hit him with some kind of loitering charge, which would prevent him from being able to run for office. Okay, let me see if I can go to some county pages. U of A had Benton County election website. This is from the Bella Vista. Let me see election results, if they have any. Okay, 2025 City of Bella Vista and Bentonville school special elections. Registered voters, 28,074. Ballots cast total 98. 89 was early voting, 9 by absentee. So a 0.35% turnout from early voting for this, because so you can see how low this is in terms of turnout. Oh my goodness. So here's the summary report. 2020 refunding bonds for 68% against. Look at that, 66 to 31. Total votes cast 97. Well, now this is early voting. This does not show election day. So the early voting looks like the more people have voted for it than against it. Although typically those that are more in the conservative wing tend to wait till election day to vote. So it doesn't have any election day results. It just has the early voting results. Notice how they link in everything from police improvement and street improvement, which could also be like walk paths, the fire, to these other bonds, and you have to vote them all together. So they tie in police and fire, and you're forced to kind of have to choose between one or the other. Let's go to the Washington County Election Commission. Well, no, that's for the Greenland thing. Pulaski County has an excellent election website, so let's go then. Okay, this is to the ordinance itself. Let me go to Pulaski County Election Commission. They usually post their results pretty well. Let's see the early voting turnout there. Well, that's May 13th of 2025. I need some more updated ones. So it hasn't been updated there yet. Okay. Cleveland County. Let's try Cleveland County Herald. Maybe they have an update. Okay, this is when they passed the resolution. Well, let me see if it passed an election results. No, don't see anything yet. No update on there. Some of these counties do not have websites, or if they do, they're not really well updated. So it is kind of hard to see who's done what. If anybody has any results of what happened, let me know. Lee County School District. Let's go to the school website. No. Craighead County election website for the Nettleton School District. Let's see if they have any update here. These are past election results, but they don't have the regular election results. So nothing yet. This is why I waited until 8 to 8:30 to start doing this, because you really don't get results for a while. Of course, you don't want to be up too late, so. Well, like I said, a lot of these places don't have actual websites, or if they do, they're not really updated that well. Let me go back to Facebook, see if there's any updates on this website here. Oh, okay, we have a new first one. The Rising School millage for a new gymnasium has passed. 867,444 against. Deltaplex News. We're working to get those numbers now. And yeah, these things usually pass. I think this is the one in Cleveland County. 6 mills. And let me go to Deltaplex News, see if I can get some more information. So, yeah, that's sad news. Well, they've passed it. Again, I'll just take this from Deltaplex News. Yeah, these special election tax increases, they usually do. They usually get sneaked past voters. So there's first breaking news. I don't have the link to the actual their page, but I can share this. Copy the link that shows the post from. So yeah, they didn't bother to ask the NBA or the NFL to pay for any of this sports complex. They put a burden on taxpayers. So yeah, this should be Cleveland County. And this is the Cleveland County School District. 6 mills and a $13 million bond issue. So they're getting a new gym. Don't know how many businesses are going to move out or not start because of that. So there you go. Let me go post this on my earlier post. Yeah, it's going to be a long night. And again, for those paying taxes, it's just going to be, they're just tired of new taxes. Well, too bad. You're going to be stuck with this. And again, I'm copying this link to share it because I do. Unlike the Arkansas Times or other organizations, when I do find a story, I try to give credit where credit is due. You know, in the past, they did something where they stole stuff from South Arkansas Reckoning. Folks, it's going to take a lot more effort to save this nation. Sadly, a lot of people just don't know what's going on. Let me refresh Sherwood's issue. Now, the folks in Sherwood Tax Truth really fought hard on the campaign against this tax increase. So let me see. And I'll do regular updates on what is going on. So I just posted that in there, and it's a fairly huge margin. That's almost double. Well, I didn't know it's more than double. Sorry. But now think about it, there's 1,200 people in Cleveland County. How many of them, how many registered voters there are? I wish I had that breakdown, because then you could see, how many. What was the percentage of vote? It should be if there's a certain percentage of votes that's so small, like if it's less than 5%, it should just nullify the election. That means nobody showed up to vote. In a just world, that'd be the case. Again, we were supposed to have gotten rid of special election tax increases. We did not. Those tax increases were reading, writing, math, and some. Yep, you're right, Cybernorm. You're correct. They raised taxes for a gymnasium. And sadly, in many of these towns, school sports is pretty much God. So there's Brian Norris, who's running for Arkansas Secretary of State. One of the issues with these special election tax increases is that there's no one website to see all these where you can get an idea of some of them. This was done in September 30th by Kristen Higgins. And then I actually had to add 2 more tax increases to it that they didn't have on their list. Conduit News later on added more to that list so that people can know what was going on. But it is very difficult to find out when these tax increases take in place. And that is not on accident. It's just designed so that you cannot see what's going on. Most of these tax increases are planned behind closed doors. There's oftentimes a lot of ways where somehow, how should I put it, school resources are in some way, shape, or form somehow may or may not be used in an unethical way to push for these as well. We've seen that happen. So I'm just posting the results onto other pages where I've posted about this. And here you see my post here on Truth Social where I talk about this. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. And then here is a broadcast on Gab. It's supposed to be an alternative to Twitter X. It hasn't been, has not been very successful. Folks, a lot of things have happened. A lot of people have kind of been burned out from political stuff. That's not on accident. That is by design. There is, of course, some sultry scandal regarding we got Will Jones, who's running for a prosecutor position. So I'm still hunting down new tax increase elections going on. Oh my goodness, there was a special election in Sheridan. So I didn't know about this. So apparently there was a special election in Sheridan. And every time you see this, you know that they lied because a few years ago they said that a tax increase was going to sunset. And every time they promise you a tax increase is going to sunset, they are lying to you. All they're going to do is find some other pet project to have to fund. I just now saw this. And it's always for the children, and it's a scam over and over and over again. So here's the information about the tax increase in Conway. And I think it kind of depends oftentimes as if you have a group of conservatives in an area who are able to campaign against these tax increases. And this shouldn't be happening in the red state of Arkansas, but of course it is. Because we, even though we're supposed to have defeated these things, we actually didn't. They should only be in election years. If these were on election years, almost every one of these would probably fail. Let's see Arkansas election results, and let me go to latest from there. No, nothing there. It is very difficult to find out about these things and their results as well. Let me go to Sherwood Tax Truth, see if they have any updates. As far as I know, I'm the only one that's talking about this issue right now. Maybe someone else is doing a broadcast and I just don't know about it. But this is the website Sherwood Tax Truth. $93 million. They had a big website, a whole bunch of other things going on. I don't see any updates with them. Trying to get, if I get 10 followers on Rumble, I can do an update regarding I can do a Rumble ad. Let me go to YouTube and play some stuff. I'll take a quick break. Look at some older videos that I did regarding special election taxes. Oh, here we go. Here's a video of the Municipal League. Here's this crooked organization that needs to never be funded again, needs to be disbanded. So, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break. and play this in the background, and then I'll come back and give some updates on what's going on. This is my old Keep Arkansas Legal account this is from 8 years ago. Can you imagine how much better we had been if this municipal league organization had been disbanded?
Here come the bureaucrats.
Your man. Chairman, Arkansas Municipal League opposed said SB 17 for a couple of reasons. The main reason that we opposed it is the anticipate that says that home rule and local control. It opposes the bills because it clearly makes it more difficult to conduct a special election. As it stands now, the majority of municipal sales tax elections are held, have been held in the past 5 years, scheduled to coincide with the general elections and primary elections. This was a choice made by your local government, a clear choice to have the elections at this time. However, there are times in which your local government may think that the issue is of such significance that it needs to be a standalone issue. The issue is of such significance that your city council don't want to run the risk of having the special election being lost with a multitude of issues that might be on a crowded primary or general election ballot. Special elections allow the voters to focus on one specific issue of importance, such as a hospital in your county, public safety improvements for Jonesboro, wastewater plant in Mason, new jail in Yellow County, revenue and jail operations and salary increases for public safety officers in Newton County. In each of these incidents, there was a special election in which the local elected officials thought it was such significance that they wanted a clear, unmistakable response from the voters. The proponents of the bill the last time they testified seemed to imply that only a small number of voters turn out for special elections. Well, our research indicates otherwise. In 2010, 6,605 Jonesboro residents voted in a special election for second service. In 2014, 3,087 turned out to serve and voted for freedom and direction. 4,016 voted for a hospital in Crittenden County. 7,238 citizens voted a special election in Garland County for road and highway improvements. And then this last month, 1,084 in Newton County voted against the proposal for jail improvements. Now, no one is going to suggest that more people vote in special elections than in general elections, but to imply that the voters don't turn out to vote in special elections is to really go facts. Voters that vote in special elections tend to be more informed and deliberate. They have a strong opinion in the outcome of the election. They're going to show up to the polls to express their opinion. They're making a conscientious effort to go to the polls to vote about one issue that it could impact the quality of their life and their community for years to come. It's for this reason that city council may choose to schedule a special election. They're looking for that clear, unmistakable answer. Yes, we want public safety improvements, and yes, we want a hospital. No, we don't want to have to pay for an fire department. When to schedule special elections are best left to the discretion of local elected officials. There's no history of local governments making excessive referrals to the voter. Unnecessary, we oppose this because it unnecessarily restricts the dates on which Arkansas voters may vote on local sales tax elections to 2 years. It impairs the local government's flexibility in planning for a deep fiscal community. And again, we believe that when to have local elections is best left to the discretion of the local elected representatives and not the general citizen. So if I have to watch some municipal, we
So there it is, folks. The Municipal League 8 years ago urging people to keep special election tax increases. Now, since then, we've had a huge fight in trying to get rid of these special election tax increases, that we've been somewhat successful in at least reducing the number of them. But as you can see today, we've had several of them. We have 13 going on in Arkansas. I don't know how many of them. I think 2 of them are actually not tax increase elections, so that'd be 11 that are special, that are ones regarding raising of taxes. And we know that one of them, the one in Cleveland County, which is 6 mills, has passed. So a lot of people on fixed income are, and businesses are going to be paying for a new gym. And the sad thing is it's probably going to be other tax increases that get passed later on. We'll go back and the list here. Go back. Marion County. Oh, this is the list. Calhoun County, Marion County, cities of Bella Vista, Conway, Greenland, Ozark, Sherwood, Texarkana, Arkadelphia, Cleveland County. This is one that passed. Lee County, Nettleton, Pocahontas, Star City School Districts. And they're all trying to pass either sales taxes or millage increases. Let me see if there's any updates. Let me go to South Arkansas Reckoning. South Arkansas Reckoning did a story regarding the Cleveland County tax increase election. Let me see if they have any updates regarding what is going on. They've had an investigation regarding this Sheridan School District regarding data and solar projects. One of the bad things that's going on in Arkansas is a lot of these city and county governments are sneaking in these solar panel projects as well as these crypto mining data centers, which take up a lot of resources, actually increase the tax burden, the burden on the usage of water and electricity in local communities. And they're basically being sprung up without the permission of people. The Arkansas Association of Counties, which is supposed to stop these type of plans, is doing absolutely nothing about it. Matter of fact, they seem to be helping them. They issue letters saying there's basically nothing you can do, even though their sole purpose for existence is to protect counties from lawsuit. So there's no updates from there, from South Arkansas Reckoning. Let me go back to Facebook and see if I can find any more updates on what's going on there. Okay, I got an update from someone that the city and school tax in Sheridan has also passed. I didn't even know about it, and I was actually looking for these. So yeah, I'm not that surprised. It's probably going to be a lot of other ones that get passed. So I just made that update as well. And go to my profile. Yeah, it's going to be a bad night for those that won freedom. So the city and school tax in Sheridan has passed. The one in Cleveland County, I don't have the numbers on it, but I've been notified that it has passed. So I'm posting that on my Twitter X profile, where I'm doing this broadcast, as well as my okay. Cleveland County one has passed as well. So let me remove this. Now, I believe the next time these tax increases can be pushed will be in the March primaries. Now, there'll be a much higher voter turnout then. I know that Pine Bluff announced that they were going to do a tax increase. I'm not sure if it's going to be in March of next year or in November of next year. So there's one where you're going to have to, if you want to defeat that, you're going to have to, get involved and do a campaign. Okay, sorry, my light just went off. I'll probably talk about some more results at another time, maybe tomorrow. I wanted to get kind of an update of some of them that were happening today. Usually they get posted pretty quickly. Hold on. Let me see if my thing went out of power. There we go. It has a timer on it. Now, I don't know how many in these elections where machines were used. Let me do an update on. Let me try Conway sales tax. Let's see. Let's go to Jason Raper. He's no new updates from him. Let me try Nick Horton. He's supposed to be. Now, a group called Americans for Prosperity has been fighting against a tax increase in Sherwood, but they did not fight against some of the other tax increases that are going on. Oh, that's an older group. It's hard to keep up with stuff that goes on like this. So I'm still looking for these special election tax increases that are going on. Let's see what the Lee County Citizens Against Unfair Taxes have said. Oh, this was on March 6th of 2024. It says William McLean guy is still urging people to vote no. I don't see much in the way of news updates right now. I don't see much else that's going on. It looks like it's going to be a few hours before we get any actual updates. And I'm not going to wait that long. So what I'll do is I'll put a... Hold on. Okay, so Cave City had a...
No, I can hear her voice, but I can't tell if she's
Cave City is getting a new elementary school. The results of tonight's special election to maintain the current 39 mills to build the school. So Cave City had an election. I think it was to maintain their millage as opposed to reduce it. So that's another one. Well, folks, I've been in here I started this not quite at around 8:30. Took at least one break, and doesn't look like we're getting much in the way of notifications. Also, my little light thing just keeps going out on me. So I think what we'll do is stop here for a moment. I'll give a more detailed report and try to get some updates on what's going on. So you're right, ordinance man. They always schedule these elections and make it very difficult for anti-tax people to fight it. You're absolutely right. So we know of at least one tax increase that has passed Cleveland County, another one in Sheridan, and then Cave City apparently has passed one. I didn't even know there was one going on there. So I'll probably learn about 2-3 other races that I didn't even know was happening. Well, folks, like I said, I'll give a much better detailed report tomorrow on what happened regarding this. If you know of anything else that's going on, let me know. Most Republican county committees are going to they'll have some meetings in November. The Pulaski County meeting is Thursday, November 20th. They'll have several guest speakers. Other county committees will be having meetings as well. Then there is the winter committee meeting. I don't know of anything major that's going on there. Here, I'll go list these upcoming events just to show them. Polk County already met. Let's see, most of these have already met. Nevada County's meeting tonight. Never mind. So Conway County GOP, which I think is Morrilton, is meeting on the 20th. Drew County GOP is also meeting on the 20th. Monroe County GOP is meeting on the 20th. Pulaski County GOP is meeting on the 20th. Hempstead County GOP is meeting on the 20th. Try to, if you can, attend these events, find out what's going on, find out if your organization is conservative or not. I'm not going to talk much about what's going on with Will Jones. I know it's mainly sensationalization. Epstein files being released. I don't know. That's, again, way above pay grade and what we can do regarding that. Folks, focus on what's going on in your own backyard. Focus on what you can do in your own backyard. Somewhere there's a Bill Gates, a Schwab, a guy that, there's a globalist in your backyard that you need to deal with. And oftentimes they're supposed pillars of the community. They're the ones that are oftentimes push these tax increase. Oh, good update. Sherwood failed. Okay, let me go to the Pulaski County website. Thank goodness. It looks like the Sherwood tax increase failed. So good for the folks there. I knew that they put up a very strong fight against that. They had a website and everything. Okay, let me just do unofficial results. Let me see if I can find it here. Voter turnout was only 16%. It's absolutely pathetic. For and against. Total votes cast 3,000. And only failed by about 300 votes out of voter turnout was 16%. Okay, let me see if I can screenshot this and make it into an event. Here, sorry, forgot I was sharing this tab. And I'll save this as an actual image to post. So yes, when you campaign against these things, they usually fail. If you get enough people to get out and turn out. So congratulations to those people that fought hard in Sherwood to defeat that tax increase. Graphic. Wait, where's my... And this is Pulaski County. You can go canvas results to see if that matters. You can go by precincts. I do like how they do the details of this. You can go precinct by precinct to see it. So there you go, folks. There's a better version of what I'm telling you,
Okay.
But that's it, folks.
Lincoln County's failed.
Oh, the Lincoln County tax increase has also failed.
But I don't have the numbers yet.
Okay, so there was a campaign. Usually, so earlier I had some news about some tax increases that had passed in Cleveland County, Cave City, and in Sheridan, but 2 tax increases have failed. One is in Sherwood and the other in Lincoln County. So these fights are going to continue. For those who defeated these tax increases, don't rest too easy, because you know full well that there's going to be, most of the time, what your local governments will do is try to push for another one. All right, folks. Well, like I said, I wanted to do this broadcast for about an hour just to kind of give updates on what's happened. Sherwood one was going to be a big one. I think that was the one that was going to have the most money. It was $93 million in terms of money that was going to be taken from citizens. That was a big fight. Probably Conway's the second biggest one. I have to look and see how much that one is. That was $52 million in bonds. Oh no, that's... Well, then there's 11 million in other bonds and other kind of pet projects. Anyway, a group of citizens have managed to at least... That'll be Faulkner County. Let me see if I can find Faulkner County election results. I want to look for that. Sorry if I'm bouncing around a lot here. Faulkner County Election Commission. Reports. Well, let me see past election results. Do not see anything regarding Lincoln County. I'm sorry, of the Conway election. Oh, let me go to live chat. Make sure everybody knows. This is the tax increase in Star City School District, not Lincoln County. Sorry for the error.
Hmm. Mercy. Yeah, that's what it is. Mhm. That's right.
Well, there you go, folks. I don't see any other updates going on. So we've done this broadcast for about an hour. I think I'll go ahead and end it. Good news, bad news. Y'all find a way to get involved. When the wicked rule, the people groan. When the righteous rule, the people rejoice. And here we have kind of a say. So glad for those who tuned in for this.
Not yet. I
But anyway, I am going to end this.
mean.
Y'all have a good evening. I'll try to do another broadcast tomorrow.
It's not so bad.